The topic for today is dryer vent tubes. 17,000 fires related to laundry occur each year in the United States, and approximately 34% of those are caused by a clogged dryer vent. That's what we're going to be looking into today. The first step in the process is probably one of the hardest, and that is just that you have to move the dryer out of the way. They're often wedged into some kind of cramped enclosure, and it could be hard to get them to move. Depending on what your surface is, be very careful because the dryer can scratch the surface and cause some damage to the floor. So be careful and make sure you lift it up a little as you're moving it around. Once you get your dryer slid out of the way enough where you can weasel back there, you'll be able to get back there and access the dryer vent tube. Notice all the lint from your old drying jobs. This is an excellent time to get back and clean that stuff up that you normally have a hard time getting to. Remember, in our line of work, the job's not done until cleanup is done. Once you've cleared enough access to get back there to your dryer vent tube, you can go ahead and get to the clamp and undo the clamp so that you can pull the hose off. And then the same thing can be done on the dryer side of it. See that kind of stuff? This is what we're trying to clean out. If you don't clean that out on a regular basis, that's what leads to the fires. So you want to get in there with a brush and scrub all that out of there. Now that I've got a light on it, you can see down into the tube and see where all the lint debris is. That's the stuff that you need to wipe out. In my case, it goes in about a foot, and that's it. After that, it's clean. So you want to get in there with some paper towels and wipe all that out. Make sure not to shove it deeper into the hole, though. Just pull all of that lint debris out of the exhaust tube. When going to clean that exhaust tube, I just reached in there with some paper towels, scrubbed out all of the dry stuff, got rid of all the lint. And then once I had done that, I took some cleaner, sprayed it on a paper towel, sprayed it in the tube, and just kind of scrubbed it out just to make sure it's nice and clean so that there was no more debris inside of that tube. On another note, I was going to talk about the replacement tubes. You can clean out the old one. However, I recommend just buying a new one. They're pretty flimsy and they're very hard to clean because of the ribbed, corrugated nature of them. And so it's hard to do a good job cleaning them without destroying them. So I recommend just buying a new one. They're usually anywhere. The cheap one was $13. This is the more expensive premium one, and it was $18. And the difference between the two is just how smooth it is on the inside. So the smoother the pipe is on the inside, the more air it's going to flow, the less restrictions there's going to be, and the less chance of lint piling up there in the future. So for me, the extra $5 is well worth it, but you can decide that for yourself. But a brand new one is anywhere from about $13 to $18. So I highly recommend just buying a new one. That way, if there's any rips or tears in your old one that you didn't see, this will take care of that for you. I wanted to take a moment to talk about the hose clamps just a bit and just show you a couple of the different varieties. So yours may come with this one. This is probably the most common one that you'll see on clothes dryers. And it'll just have a flathead screw, or you can use a hex socket to open and close this clamp. But it has a little worm drive in there, and as you squeeze this, the circle will start to close. These are another common one that you'll see, and it's the same type of design, but on this clamp it has just a quick tightening mechanism, so that's kind of nice to just have the thumb screw. It's quicker and easier. The disadvantage is it's harder to get it as tight, but usually you don't need these to be really, really tight. The last type you might see, these are ones you see more on automotive applications, but you may find them on yours as well. So this is a spring clamp. And just as you saw that one go flying out of there, I was going to warn you, make sure you wear safety glasses when you use one of those because they love to go flying. But that's the third type. You probably won't notice that on a dryer, but I just wanted to introduce you to it just in case yours had one of those. Dryer duct is a relatively easy operation. The first thing you want to do is make sure you get the clamp onto the tube before you try to reinstall it. Go ahead and tighten it down, and that side is done. Reinstalling the second side of the exhaust pipe is always the more difficult one. What I like to do is get my pipe set up so that it's tight on one side, and then I've got it set up so that it's very close to where it needs to connect on the other side. I have the clamp installed and it's all ready to go, and what I will do is connect this thing up, and then I'll be able to shove the dryer back in. My goal here is to be able to do this without kinking the exhaust tube. Also, remember that clamp needs to be oriented in such a way that it's going to be easy enough to tighten once you get it into place, because in my dryer there's a small little nook back there and it's not easy to get to the clamp, especially if I put it on the wrong way. So pick a way that's easy to tighten it down. So I'm going to try to film this, but I'm perched on top of the dryer. So what I have to keep doing is climb up on the dryer, squish that in a little bit, push in the dryer a little bit, climb back up and squish it a little more. Just like so. And there it's in its final position. It was a lot of work to get it to be a nice smooth curve like that, but it's well worth it because the efficiency level is going to be much higher this way. So always try to keep your tubes with the least amount of bends and as straight as possible. Once you've got everything cleaned up and all ready to go, go ahead and congratulate yourself on a job well done. And that'll be another year before you have to tackle that thing again. And you can rest assured that your chances of fire have just been decreased dramatically. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.